hey, I didn't see you there. Now, it's, I guess that time of year again. You know, now the holidays are here and they come and go. And, you know, it's been, since 2020, I've done 6 of these. Where does the time go? But, you know, with all that said, I think it's important that we look back on how far we've come this year. I mean, hey, you know, 2025 had a lot to offer. Like I said, a lot to offer. Well, another year came and went. You know, it's easy to be in 2025 cynical of the world around us all and, you know, find something to be let down by, as it feels like for every achievement, something holds us back as, you know, we wish to move forward, as does time itself. But, you know, saying all that out loud, it's not like I have an easy solution to all of this. I mean, 2025 was rough for many, worse for some. And ever since the start of this decade, we've all been let down by something. But we've also, you know, persevered in many ways. All we got is time. But we also have friends, family, and new opportunities along the way that if we don't give up, you know, we can move forward with our lives and, you know, look back on this year and everything else prior, that for all the good and bad that comes with it, we're moving forward with our lives. And sure, we don't always have a say of if we're ready yet for what comes next, but I'm getting older. Again, as I said, this is the 6th one I've done of this, and, like, it might be the end of the decade before we even know it, but I'm going to hold my head up high and be happy that, yeah, we got through this. And hey, that's not to say 2025 didn't have anything to offer. For instance, it had good movies to watch. Film is one of the most important forms of storytelling, whether we watch the grandest stories on the biggest screens or find a hidden gem on the small screen, because there's tremendous acting, gorgeous visuals, scores that speak louder than words, and a million things that go into making the best movies each year. And if 2025 had anything to offer, was a ton of great movies to watch, to cry to feel joy to, and to be challenged and inspired by. Though for the record, as I say all this, as much as I'm a big film fan, you know, on a cinephile, go outside and touch grass, please. I made like a thing this year for make sure I also walk 10,000 steps each day, which got really hard once it got cold, but please, you know, I love film, I want to be a filmmaker, you know, I can say all this, also please go outside and touch grass, okay? I think that's important to say, and furthermore, I've been told by my producer I need to get straight to the point. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Jake Gottfried. I've done these film lists for a while now, and I need to clarify. This list you see right in front of you is all the movies I saw this year. About 100 of them, 97 to the exact, as of so far. These are all the movies I just saw, you know, by the time I could get to this list. And, you know, there's a ton that probably should be on here. And also a ton of movies that, you know, maybe I just have a different opinion on. But the point is that I understand I'm barely scratching the surface on all of these. But there's just so many movies that I just didn't get to. But the important takeaway is this. It's going to be hard to move forward with our lives, and looking back on, are these movies going to be enough to say it was worth it? Maybe. I hope so. So, creativity and risk are born from taking chances on something new, bold, and unpredictable. And after a long time choosing, I think these are, in my opinion, the best films of 2025. Before we begin with our top 10 list, this is actually my top 20 movies of 2025, but the reason I'm not going into further detail about it is because I'm lazy. So, for number 20, Left-Handed Girl. Number 19, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I finally learned how to pronounce his name right. It took way too long and I'm embarrassed. Number 18, Black Bag. Number 17, Together. Number 16, Novocaine. Number 15, K-pop Demon Hunters. Number 14, Caught Stealing. Number 13, Jay Kelly. Number 12, Sorry Baby. And number 11, The Naked Gun. I was really on the fence if I should put The Naked Gun in the top 10 list, since I think it achieves perfectly what it wants to be as a comedy, more than what I chose for number 10. But to me, number 10 on my list was something that had a lot more ambition. And even if it wasn't perfect, I can't stop thinking about it still. So, without further ado, these are my top 10 films of 2025. Number 10, Twinless, directed by James Sweeney. When Roman, played by Dylan O'Brien, meets Dennis, played by James Sweeney, at a twin support group for grieving twins, they form a friendship that seemingly might heal their wounds, only for the latter to not be all that he seems. And the movie expects you to expect this and doesn't play its hand, instead presenting all that it is. A heartbreaking yet strangely warm film that doesn't hold back on the despair of losing a twin feels like. It feels like losing a part of yourself, as Roman and Dennis have wonderful chemistry as we see how the story changes them both by the end, and the journey getting there is full of surprises, sadness, joyful moments, and questions of morality and sincerity. Dylan O'Brien gives one of the best performances of the year that make it worth watching alone, as well as it's beautifully shot, carries an amazing score. Twinless works as a powerhouse showcase in front and behind of the camera of what it means to have loved, lost, whether it's family, friends, or moving forward. Number 9, Lost in Starlight, directed by Han Ji-won. Let's hope I pronounce all the names right for this one. Lost in Starlight is a South Korean animated sci-fi romantic comedy that's just sitting on Netflix being overlooked. Set in the not-too-distant future of 2051, it follows Nan Young, played by Kim Tae-ri, and Jae, played by Hong Kyung. This beautiful, I'm just going to say it's beautiful. It's a beautiful animated film. Mwah, chef's kiss. This former astronaut who wants to leave Mars, and the latter an inspiring musician who challenges what she might be leaving Earth for. It's an irresistible looking film that each frame is a work of art, highlighted best during the musical sequence Bon Voyage, being far apart but love it never is, with visuals unlike anything else. Again, I can't speak enough about the visuals. Just watch it visually alone. But at its core is a romance that shows two people's strengths and flaws and being the best they can be for one another and their dreams. It knows how to be down to earth when it soars and leaps for the stars through art, love, music, and heart. Number 8, Companion, directed by Drew Hancock. I haven't stopped thinking since January about this film that if you know nothing, please go in blind. But the premise I'll give is this. Iris, played by Sophie Thatcher, joins her boyfriend Jack Quaid to a secluded lake house weekend getaway, only for a shock that changes everything. The movie is one of the best examples of being a smart film with a fantastic lead character to root for, and the allegory, whether literal or metaphorical, is conveyed so well. The cast is amazing, the tension is felt, the story doesn't waste the viewer's time, the movie is rich in details, and sparks fly whether it's a moment to laugh at or a moment to feel unexpected emotions. And was for sure the type of movie that perfectly satisfies everything for me personally by the end of it all. Number 7, Predator Badlands, directed by Dan Trachtenberg. A new era of Predator films from Dan Trachtenberg hits the big screen as the alien, the Yautja Dek, played by Demetrius Schuster Kolomatagi, becomes the protagonist as the runt of his clan to head to the most dangerous planet in the galaxy and teams up with the synthetic Thea, played by Elle Fanning, to hunt down an unkillable creature. Bringing new life and more humanity in a movie without any humans, Badlands shakes up the status quo with a memorable duo that serves memorable action sequences and characters to root for and care about. Dek is one of the best examples of visual effects since Caesar from Planet of the Apes, and every inch of this planet feels alive and dangerous. It holds no punches as it brings something needed for the franchise and had everything I wanted the film to be on its own. Number 6. Bob Trevino Likes It, directed by Tracy Lehman. A smaller film that follows neglected live-in aide Lily Trevino, played by Bari Ferreira, who is desperate for a relationship with her despicable father, so she discovers a man on Facebook who shares his name, played by John Leguizamo. But Bob Trevino, you get from the title. Anyways, they form an unlikely friendship they both needed as this weird but touching father-daughter story that the more goes on, the more three-dimensional these characters become, as it follows a heartfelt story where it has its last but at its center a story about friends and family as those who might not give you the love you deserve, and everyone feels so real when it becomes sad or heartbreaking. It's earned when it comes to these emotions, and for all of that said, for this type of premise, it feels like it could go easily wrong, and yet it doesn't. Bari Ferreira gives one of the best performances of the year from the opening scene alone, and it doesn't waste time making mistakes other films would with this premise, as I said. It stands out, and it's a memorable film that I just don't like it. I love it. Now we got through number 10 through 6 of this year, and before we get to my top 5 films of 2025, right now, we must now look through, by obligation, the worst films I saw this year, damn it! Okay, number 10, Fountain of Youth. Number 9, Holland. Number 8, The Old Guard 2. Number 7, A Very Jonas Christmas Movie. Number 6, You're Cordially Uninvited. or something. I don't care. Number 5, Smurfs. The one that came out this year. Number 4, The Unbreakable Boy. Number 3, Sneakers, which if you don't know, that's literally a movie about what if sneakers could talk or whatever. Number 2, Ice Cube's War of the World. Yeah, I know. That's probably everyone's least favorite film of the year. But the movie I saw, and I'm not even a big Star Trek guy, and I think this is the worst film I saw this year, was Star Trek Section 31. Well, now that that's over with, let's actually be happy again and look at the top 5 best movies we saw this year. And something new I'm adding to these top 10 lists. Number 5, Superman, directed by James Gunn. With expectations to pull off the impossible, the new Superman film stands on its own while being just the beginning, as Superman, played by David Cornsweet, in a world of heroes and villains where his place and what legacy he'll leave behind when faced with threats like never before, it soars and has moments that feel like instant classics in the superhero genre, featuring an amazing cast, visual and practical effects, memorable action sequences, and a million other things. At its core, though, is a story of what it means to be human and the choice to do the right thing. It might be the story of much to come, but on its own, it's unforgettable, vivid, and left me with a smile that gave me the hope for a world around me more than any other film this year that things will get better. So if there's any takeaway I have about Superman, this gave me more hope than anything else this year. Number 4, Wake Up Dead Man, directed by Rian Johnson. The third Benoit Blanc mystery that still does the unexpected and pulls off what you want while being full of its own surprises, as Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, must solve a seemingly impossible murder at a strict Gothic church. He'll team up with young priest Josh O'Connor to find the truth. These movies are always a winner with some of the funniest moments, and when it needs to be serious, Wake Up Dead Man has a true mystery that seems unsolvable, and it's hard to give detail without spoilers, but it's definitely the hardest mystery of this trilogy, and for some, it might be the best because of that. Rest assured, from the camera work to its cast and characters, the story knows even when to be one of the best views of faith and religion, regardless of being on one end or the other. It genuinely is the best film I've seen, maybe in years, that did religion better than anything else. It is hard to get detail of what the best this movie has to offer, again, without spoilers, so it's easy to recommend anyone go in and discover the answers for themselves, whether fans of the other two films or someone who has never seen them before will take a crack at this film on its own, because, again, these movies can stand on their own, and Wake Up Dead Man is full of so much surprises on its own. Number 3, The Life of Chuck, directed by Mike Flanagan. The most unique story told, as it's told in reverse. It's based on a Stephen King short story and brought to life with marvelous execution as the earnest story of the life of Charles Chuck Krantz, played by Tom Hiddleston. And sometimes not, because again, it's told in reverse. So you see him as an adult, sometimes as a kid. But basically, it's easy to say not everyone will be won over by it because of its earnestness, but in my opinion, what chances it takes pulls it off, as its 3 acts each tell a compelling tale in its own right, and how it's all connected by the end puts tears on my face. It put tears on my face at the cinema, and it made me feel courageous to live. It made me feel like a lion to live. Defying genre convention from mystery to fantasy to slice of life, the movie stuck with me from questioning the unknown, hope in the darkest places, and a dance sequence worth watching alone for. If there was a choreography award at whatever award show you're thinking of, this should win it. The Life of Chuck is where you open your heart, feel wonderful, and remember you can tame multitudes. And before we begin, yeah, it was definitely a coin flip. No, it wasn't a coin flip. I knew which one I liked more. But I'm sure some people might be disappointed I put this in number 2 and not number 1. So with that being said, my number 2 film of 2025 is Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. One of those movies I feel like everything has been said, yet watching it, easy to fall in love with all over again, that Sinners defies being one thing, and seemingly pulls off being everything as it follows one night in 1932 Mississippi as gangster twins Smoking Stacks, both played by Michael B. Jordan, on the opening night of their juke joint, face otherworldly evil that, yeah, I mean, you saw, if you didn't see the trailer, but if you saw the trailer, you know. Anyways, the film has characters rich in detail outside of the turn, and it's compelling in its own, like, you care all the more once everything comes into place, but before that happens, yeah, the film wins you over on its own with just these characters. And the film does everything to win you over afterwards. It's got love, representation film needs, the themes of freedom and persecution, music that I still listen to months later. A winner that proves what film does that other forms of storytelling can't. I mean, chef's kiss, if that means anything. Look, it can't be said enough discovering something that is a reminder when passion oozes in every frame and earns being called a masterpiece. Sinners is a masterpiece. It can't be said enough. Before I disclose to everyone what the best film I saw this year, I know so many options, what could it be? I wanted to do something new for these videos that wasn't sure if I should do for its own separate video or whatever, but maybe if people like it, maybe I will for next year. But for right now, this is a new thing I'm doing where out of 5 per category, what are the best of like my own type of award show based on the 97 films I saw this year. And, these are the top 5, but it's not a ranking list, just except who I think was the best of each year. I'm not going to say each names out loud. No, again, that's going to take too much time and I'm lazy. No, what I'm just going to do is go for each category and just say the name of who I think the winner is in this category. So with that being said, for Best Original Song, I Lied to You from Sinners, Here Comes the Seventh Son from Odessa, Bon Voyage from Lost in Starlight, and Highest to Lowest from Highest to Lowest. And the winner is What It Sounds Like from K-Pop Demon Hunters. For Best Original Score, Sinners, The Fantastic Four, Twinless, Black Bag, and the winner is One Battle After Another. For Best Sound Design / Mixing, the nominees are F1, The Life of Chuck, Arco, and Weapons, and the winner is Sinners. For Best Visual Effects, Sinners, How to Train Your Dragon, Mickey 17, and Superman, and the winner is Predator Badlands. For Best Makeup and Hairstyling, the nominees are Sinners, Wicked for Good, Novocaine, Superman, and the winner is Frankenstein. For Best Costume Design, the nominees are Sinners, Wicked for Good, The Phoenician Scheme, and Superman. And the winner is Frankenstein. For Best Production Design, the nominees are Sinners, The Fantastic Four First Steps, The Phoenician Scheme, and Superman. And the winner is Frankenstein. For Best Editing, the nominees are Sorry Baby, The Life of Chuck, Weapons, and Caught Stealing. And the winner is Sinners. For Best Cinematography, the nominees are Sinners, The Phoenician Scheme, Frankenstein, and Nouvelle Vague, and the winner is One Battle After Another. For Best International Film, the nominees are Arco, Left-Handed Girl, Belen, Nouvelle Vague, and the winner is Lost in Starlight. For Best Animated Film, the nominees are Arco, Zootopia, Predator Killer of Killers, and K-Pop Demon Hunters, and the winner is Lost in Starlight. For Best Ensemble / Casting, the nominees are Nouvelle Vague, The Life of Chuck, Wake Up Dead Man, One Battle After Another, and the winner is Sinners. For Best Adapted Screenplay, the nominees are Caught Stealing, Frankenstein, Wake Up Dead Man, and One Battle After Another, and the winner is The Life of Chuck. For Best Original Screenplay, the nominees are Black Bag, Companion, Bob Trevino Likes It, and Twinless, and the winner is Sinners. For Best Supporting Actress, the nominees are Wunmi Masako for Sinners, Glenn Close for Wake Up Dead Man, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, Zoe Winters for Materialist, and the Best Supporting Actress of 2025 goes to Nina Ye for Left-Handed Girl. For Best Supporting Actor of 2025, the nominees are Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, Mark Hamill for The Life of Chuck, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly, Jeffrey Wright for Highest to Lowest, and the winner is Miles Caden for Sinners. For Best Lead Actress, Sophie Thatcher for Companion, Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, Eva Victor for Sorry Baby, Shi Wan Ma for Left-Handed Girl, God please tell me I pronounced that name right, and the winner is Barbie Ferreira for Bob Trevino Likes It. For Best Lead Actor, the nominees are Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Robert Pattinson for Mickey 17, George Clooney for Jay Kelly, and the winner is Dylan O'Brien for Twinless. For Best Director, the nominees are One Battle After Another, The Life of Chuck, Left-Handed Girl, Superman, and the winner is Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get to what is pretty obvious by this point, my number one film of 2025. But I just want to say thanks for watching. I mean that. You know, as I get older, and it's been 5 years, you know, it's going to be past 5 years, maybe. It's just, time just comes and goes, and things change. I get busier, I get older, and I am thankful for people who just want to listen to my voice and see what I have to offer, whether it be my opinion or my art. And I'm very hopeful for next year that I really come stronger out of it. I come better out of it. How will it look like? What's going to happen? I don't know. There's a lot to look back on for so much time and so many movies that, you know, what impact is it going to even have when all is said and done? I do think movies like my number one pick reflect that. So with that being said, my number one favorite film of 2025 is One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. Out of 100 movies I've seen, the choice was crystal clear. And the film, in my opinion, that shows what scale can do for the big screen, speak about the now and remain timeless. A tale of a father, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, searching for his daughter, played by Chase Affinity, from an enemy, played by Sean Penn, that threatens everything as revolutionaries, new and old, will fight the status quo for a better tomorrow and a love for family. A modern-day masterpiece that entertains you, holds you in suspense, and is important that when it screams, it roars. When it's easy to look at 2025 itself, it's held back by some. But One Battle After Another holds no punches. The cast is amazing. The visuals worth the big screen are glorious. The score is unique. And the ending that will leave you challenged after this journey and its destination of hope for a better tomorrow. For the war might not be over, but the battle will always rage on. I'm just saying, like, when you look at that scene where it's like they're on the road and it goes up and down and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Look, it's about struggle. It's about family. It's about corruption, power, modern day America, and making the world a better place. And magnificent to behold, a father and daughter that's easy to identify with, while remaining complex, and nothing else should have to be said, that this is the best film of 2025. But there's so much that can be said. I love so much about this film. There's people I haven't mentioned, things I should mention that I can't without spoilers. But again, as I said, without doubt in my mind, 2025's best film is One Battle After Another. Would you look at that? I got through this list, and it's already going to be 2026 before I know it. It's going to be 2027 before I know it, and look, again, I'm being positive, keeping my head up high. Time just comes and goes, but I'm thankful, again, as I said, and I don't want to keep repeating things when all is said and done. I just want to say thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and keep your head up high too. Things are going to get better. It's going to be hard. We're not going to know how. We're not going to know what it's going to look like or what impact it's going to have on us down the line, but it will get better. It can only go up from here. It can't get worse. Because we're going to have to move forward. And if we keep our heads up high, we're going to see the good things to come before the bad things.